Hello all, I'm Vivek from CellStrat. Let's get started. And today I'll be presenting an overview of our new GenAI platform, which is called ImagineView, right? So that's the platform. Uh, uh, yes, so let me share my screen now. Okay, I believe you can see my screen. Uh, so, uh, so as the topic for today, which is, it's introduction to CellStrat ImagineView. So this is a new GenAI product and we are very excited about it. And we have recently announced a global product launch. And let me take you to the platform itself. So I'll also explain some of the business and technical thesis why we developed this platform and on what basis and where we see the customers coming from. Right. So more of a use case study today, if you will. Okay. Just a moment, let me accept the new folks. Okay. Uh, so, uh, so we have been doing some, Gen AI projects for global clients. And for example, one of our reference clients is Freedom GPT from Austin, Texas. So we developed an uncensored chatbot for them using GPT LLM. And now Freedom GPT has evolved into a AI model app store, very similar to the GPT store which OpenAI announced yesterday. But we had other clients where they asked us to use large language models for mining, their corporate data sets. So ChatGPT has, of course, gone viral. The whole world is gaga about it. Everybody is using it for different tasks. But ChatGPT, at least until recently, did not have any ability to run an LLM on your corporate data, right? So many of our customers in the US primarily were asking, okay, I am sitting on an Excel file, couple of PDF literature, Word docs, and what have you. Can we use our corporate data in a large language model chatbot? So we were doing some consulting projects in this space. So based on this analysis, we saw a gap. We said, okay, we need to apply LLMs to corporate data sets. And that's how this idea of Imagine View came around. Initially, we called it ImagineGPT.com. So if you were to type Imagine GPT, it is it is re, it is redirected to Imagine You now. And the reason we rebranded from Imagine GPT to Imagine View was that OpenAI branding guidelines prohibit companies from using GPT keyword just to have a clean slate and not get into any conflict with OpenAI. We decided to rebrand ourselves as ImagineView instead of Imagine GPT. So this platform is designed as a long-term business acceleration platform where it will use generative AI technologies such as LLMs and others for a powerful business application. So clearly, the positioning is more of a B2B or particularly small and medium enterprises, because for large enterprise, Fortune 1000 companies, you typically need very large scale companies and teams on site. And we are, at the end of the day, still small company. So we have one of the largest AI communities of 16,000 plus AI scientists, but our full-time team is still very small. So we are not the company yet to serve a Fortune 1000 customer. We could if they ask us to do it, but our focus is on the 100, 300 million SMBs around the world. So they are saying, well, they don't have the AI talent, they don't have the AI chops or even any idea about generative AI. So are they not going to be able to leverage generative AI for business applications, right? So that's why our goal is to democratize access to Gen AI capabilities for small and medium enterprises, right? So that is the goal of our platform, and it is being developed. It is just about 5 months old now, and we have already started seeing good uptake in the sense that since we launched it over last 1 week with two product announcement emails, if you will, and since then we are seeing a lot of people sign up for the free trial subscription. So it is a free trial and then some paid subscription plans. And so a lot of people are already trying our platform for information mining, PDFs, PPTs and Excel files. So our platform currently has two basic apps. So one is a knowledge base miner, which is basically able to mine all of your documentation, whether it's PDF or PPTs or CSV or Word doc or text files, and also websites, by the way, even YouTube videos for that matter. So here what we do is that we can upload documentation, right? We can upload documentation, and let me demonstrate this to you. So you may think I am kind of selling my product here. So yes, I guess that is the topic for today, introduction to CellStrat ImagineView. But in this process, we'll also discuss the algorithm behind this, and the thesis of this product, right? So those of you are trying to do startups or want to learn about how this platform might work also will benefit. So if you find my presentation is a sales pitch, so that's fine. I mean, we have clearly announced it is about ImagineView, so I have to explain what is ImagineView, right? That is the topic. But I'll also disclose the algorithm behind our platform, right? So there's some bit of intellectual property being shared today. And so here, I can upload PDF documents, right? And so I have uploaded two PDF files. I can even upload, let's say, websites here. So CellStrat, our own website. And so I upload this, and within about less than a minute, it takes me to a GPT chatbot interface. Okay, and I'll explain how we do this behind the scenes, so you may enjoy that, learning how the algorithm works. Feel free to ask any questions, or if you have any comments, suggestions. After all, our community is the one with which will help us co-create the product in this product innovation. So now it has taken me to what we call as a knowledge base miner bot. It has ingested the two PDF files in the website which I just uploaded, right? And now I can ask random questions of it. So let's see the PDF file which I am actually processing, because we need to understand what data has been uploaded and what questions make sense from that data. The document I uploaded was this one. Let me just accept this. Yeah. So the exact document which I uploaded is this one. Yeah, Vishal, if you can accept the folks joining, that will be of help, so I can focus on the presentation. Vishal, you there?
Yeah.
So you can accept the audience, because so this is the article which I uploaded, right? It's an article by the famous management consulting company, McKinsey and Company. And here, four McKinsey partners are discussing the potential of GenAI, right? They're discussing the potential of GenAI. And you can see the names of the partners. Robert Fusaro is the interviewer, Kelsey Robinson, and then we have Alex Singla, I think, somewhere, and we have Michael Chui and some of these folks, Lucilia Riley, right? So you can see McKinsey partners are discussing the potential of generative AI, right? And the use cases in the industries where Gen AI can be utilized by different companies. So let's ask some questions on this particular document. So Michael Chu is one of the partners in that document, right? So McKinsey partners. So I can ask questions like, what does Chui think of GenAI, right? So Michael Chui is one of the McKinsey partners who's discussing potential of GenAI in the documentation. So this is here we are using what we call as the RAG algorithm, which I'll cover briefly soon. So it is able to ingest that document and create a vector database, and from that it uses that as context and queries the GPT API to produce a legible answer, which it does here. So it has accurately given the analysis that Michael Chui is mentioning. This is a significant technological advancement with potential to create increased productivity and value. This market alone is set to contribute $2 to $4 trillion of GDP to global economy, right? So it's a huge, massive potential which is coming up. That is, the whole world is sort of, evolving into an AI-centric world, if you will, right? So let's try some other question. Uh, who wrote this document? Now, I'm not saying it will answer every question successfully, but mostly it does. So we are still researching and innovating on the product, and seeing how we can produce a very accurate paradigm for all the questions. So it says the document discussing Michael Chui's views on generative AI does not specify a single author. However, it mentions that he is a partner at McKinsey. Conversation is part of McKinsey podcast hosted by Robert Fusaro and Lucilia Riley, right? So it mentions it is published by McKinsey Global Publishing. And if you were to check the at the end of this document, so that information seems correct. McKinsey Global Publishing, and these are the partners who are discussing GenAI in this article, right? So that way you can ask it any question. Can I can say, well, summarize this document uploaded in less than, you know 200 words, let's say. So I can also do various prompt engineering magic, and the way you prompt is very significant, because it will answer questions accordingly. So it tries to summarize it. Now you notice here it is only summarizing Michael Chui's response. So it has taken the previous reference to Chui, and it is only summarizing that response. So let me push it further. Can you summarize the entire document uploaded, and not just Chui's view on GenAI? So I mean, there is, so it's still, we are trying to research this, how to get optimum answers, right? So this is always a sort of a R&D effort on prompt engineering and context sensitivity. So yes, so now it was, I think, able to summarize the entire document, because I pushed it to say, please summarize the entire document and not just Chui's view on AI. So why it was summarizing just Michael Chui's view in the previous answer? Because it was taking the in context the previous question I had asked. So there's a memory at play here. There's a memory in the LLM, and I pushed it to summarize the entire document, which it kind of did, right? So any questions before we continue?
Hi Vivek, I'm Roshan. So
Hi.
my question is, so what is the size of document it can process? Like, can it process entire textbook, like maybe 300 pages or something? Or
Yeah, it can. Let me show you. It can process few thousand pages actually, what we have noticed. So we have not done a benchmark on how far it can go, but yesterday I was trying with a particular customer. This document this customer provided. So customer is in the business of cosmetic research. So this is, I guess, 87 pages. So this was working fine. We have even tried up to 2000 pages roughly, and it was working fine. So I have my colleague Vishal here. I think he tried a document which was 1,500 pages long, and it was working fine.
Yeah, I have tried 1600 pages and 2000 pages documents, and it works fine.
So we still have to find its upper limit, but we do know one limit on the UI side. There's a 5-minute timeout. So if the process of embedding the literature takes more than the whole process takes more than 5 minutes, then the UI times out, and this is just so that the user is not kept waiting forever. So anything which can be done in 5 minutes, I think it seems to work fine.
okay,
Vivek.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, hi, this is Ganesh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so initially you have shown in the URL box, right? So where you have put your CellStrat.com as an URL. So what it does, like it goes to the website and download this PDF and embed and make a RAG. Is it the whole point?
No, with the website, it scrapes the website. So this is the
Okay.
precise website I uploaded, cellstrat.com, right? So
Yeah.
it just scrapes this site and rags it. Okay.
So even the docs folder, right? Whatever the section, so top, so whatever it is there,
No, no,
it will
no.
take the all the.
No, we
Yeah.
don't. So far, we have it in roadmap to go inside these links, but not
Okay.
yet. It will only instrument the first page currently.
So what is the purpose of this you giving providing the URL and scraping the document? Is it to answer this code because this is from the PDF, right?
No, so as I said, you can upload multiple kinds of documents simultaneously and have an integrated chat going on. So I
Yeah, yeah.
uploaded on one hand, the McKinsey article. On the
Mm.
second hand, I uploaded CellStrat website. So I'm able to chat with this collection of documents as one set.
Okay, so it is like you're telling, so even you can talk with the websites as well as the PDFs, whatever the document. That is the whole
That's
point.
that's right.
So is it a basic RAG or like is there any kind of a so what do you think like what I understood is like entire PDF as well as websites you will embed and store it into single vector database. Is it so?
Yeah, it's basic rack so far, Ganesh, but
Hmm.
obviously we are doing some, engineering on the prompt, engineering, and we are
Okay.
doing some MLOps engineering. But at the very core, it's basic rack, but we are adding our own value on top of it. Slowly, we are building some more innovations. So
Okay.
we added a few, prompt engineering sort of context
Mhm.
sensitivity from our side. Plus, we are researching more innovations on top of it.
Okay. So what is the LLM use? Is it open source or like
Apply
proprietary?
GPT-4 currently, but in our
Okay.
product roadmap, we have a plan to integrate Llama 2 for a private cloud experience.
Okay.
Because some of our
Okay.
corporate customers are saying, well,
Mm.
if you send all my data to OpenAI, that is not acceptable. So
Exactly. Yeah.
many companies are requesting that we provide a private LLM capability, which we are going to do in our roadmap.
Yeah. So same thing I was facing, why? Because we wanted to build same thing we already built using the Llama 2 because they're asking like we don't want to use the OpenAI or like
Right.
whatever is available. So
Mhm.
one of the questions like what I face when they ask, so when you
Hmm.
it is for the user, right? When the user will log in and he will upload the document and he can chat with the document. Is it
That's
so?
correct.
And
That's correct.
that
So
will
you have to
persist.
log
That
in.
will persist in somewhere. This will persist somewhere, right?
So we are building the persistence layer also. That's another
Okay.
upcoming feature in our system. We'll be
Okay.
providing a document management service. So where you will be able to see your uploaded documents, delete or edit them, right? So far document control is not provided to the user, but that is part of our upcoming product roadmap.
Okay. So is there any plan like how are you going to version the document? Like same document can be uploaded into multiple versions in over the period of time, right? So is there any thoughts over that?
So that will all be part of doc management service. We call
Okay.
it a document management service, which is as part of our near-term roadmap. So in
Okay.
that, we'll provide those versioning capabilities or, grouping documents and so forth. So a lot of things are on the anvil, in the product roadmap.
Okay. So this is this is based on the text only, right?
It
Not
is
based
text.
on.
Also on the roadmap is image and table analysis, right? So currently,
Mhm.
if there's a non if it's a complex table to read, it doesn't read. If
Mm.
it is let's actually try this. So yesterday I was trying this table concept. So let me show you the specific table I'm interested in. So this is the document I'm going to upload from this cosmetics client which we have. And then if I go to one particular table, yesterday I was demoing this to, this table. So there's a table here, as you can notice. And there's a table with concentration of chemicals. So tapioca starch, I was trying, let me search for tapioca. Yeah, tapioca starch. So we were trying to find the concentration of tapioca starch from this table. So let me upload this, ask questions around this particular table. So it was able to read this table interestingly, but yes, it was not able to answer all the things as desired, but it was reading it fairly well.
I think it takes as a text, right?
I
Not as a
reads it
text.
like text because what it does, because this is after all text in a tabular
Yeah.
format. So it was able to read this text and answer. But if it is purely a table with the boundaries and all, sometimes it's not able to read. So we still have to work on the imagery and table understanding and let's say logo understanding and all that. So that is all part of the plan.
Okay. So
So
maybe it cannot take it as analytics. Suppose if it is some good employee table is there, it may not do the analytics on top of
that's
it.
correct. That's correct. And we
CS
also have
based
chain
data,
of thought
then we have
on
to
the
go for
roadmap.
visuals.
That will-
Okay.
Yeah, it will not. Yeah. So it will not do chain of thought currently. That is also part of the roadmap. So I have uploaded this particular document. Now I'm going to ask it uh, a question on from this table, something to do with tapioca starch. What is the concentration of tapioca starch? What is the range of percentage of concentration of tapioca starch? Right. So this was a question my client asked me yesterday. So I was trying this. It was working fine for some situations, but not for all situations. So in this case, it is able to pick up the idea that the range of percentage concentration of tapioca starch is 0.45. And you can see that is correct here. Now, if I want to ask a more pinpointed question, let's say hair coloring, hair coloring, hair coloring exposure type. So let me qualify this question further. What is the range of hair coloring uh, uh, in tapioca starch, right? So that is what I want to ask. Let's see. So if it is, sometimes it was able to pick it up, sometimes it wasn't. So it could not answer this particular question. Hair coloring in tapioca starch. Hair coloring in tapioca starch. Yeah, this one it was not able to get to this range which I wanted. So sometimes, so we have to do some research on tabular, analysis and imagery analysis. So images such as any kind of image or even infographic analysis. So there's a lot of R&D needed and some amount of hit and trial needed with different computer vision and object detection algorithms to be able to do that. Any questions before we proceed?
Yeah.
Good morning, Vivek. So thanks for sharing. One question around, can you take a role? I mean, while you are doing a prompt engineering, can you define a role? Basically, let's say, sort of, I'm a financial advisor, or I can take a role of banker, right? So kind of prompt engineering I do, and it crafts the kind of messages accordingly, right? So is there a kind of role-based also, prompt engineering?
So let me show you a financial use case. Let's say you are a financial advisor in the business of investment, advisory, right? So we have a customer specifically in this space in New York. Let me show you a financial use case here. So I'm going to upload a financial data set. So let me show you what this data set is about. And this is about bond market research, right? Bond market research. So you can see here that this table is this CSV file contains QSIP ID, which is the identifier for a bond in the stock and bond market, and the security coupon, maturity coupon, credit score, and rate of return, and many other bond transactional parameters. So this is a database of municipal bonds issued by United States of US. So and which sector they are in. So this is government bonds or municipal or state level bonds. And these are transactions which have happened in the past. So the customer asked me to create a LLM chatbot on this data set for mining this data. So I'm uploading this data and this file is called testdatasample.csv. And I'm going to then ask it questions about bond market research, right? Bond market research. So uh, Now, yeah, so it has gone there. Now let me ask questions of it about bond market. So what are the best bonds in state of New York? Right. So I am asking what are the best bonds in state of New York, and let's see if it is able to answer. So we developed a so it is able to answer that question fairly accurately, and it has identified the bond IDs, the QSIP IDs, which have a higher credit score and all that. And it is, see, the question was little open ended. So when I say what are the best bonds, see, what is the meaning of best bonds? Now, best in terms of what? So it provides an assumption based on the provided context. The best bond in state of New York can be evaluated in terms of credit quality and market rating. So it has taken a fair assumption. When I say best bonds, this is what I mean. Now, I can, same question as before, but by best bond, I mean those bonds that higher rate of return, right? So I am trying to change the criteria of what classifies as a best one. So you can see the way you frame the prompt is very significant here, right? So same question as before, but by best bond, I mean those bonds that have higher rate of return. So let's see if it changes the answer or is able to answer at all. So you see, that's why how you prompt it matters. So now it has tried to change the answer a little bit, right? Let's try to change the answers a little bit. So earlier it was giving Q. No, it is still saying 5E2 W7, 5E2 W7. Yeah, but it probably added 5E2. It added few more bonds in the line 3, which have good rate of return of 4.957%, 4.0%. So you see, the way you prompt it can significantly change the answer paradigm. So this was a financial use case. I hope I was able to answer the gentleman's question who was asking what a financial role play.
Yeah, thanks, Vivek.
Yeah. Hi, Vivek. Pratima here.
Hi,
Good
Pratima.
morning. Yeah, hi. So, Vivek, I have few questions regarding of like whatever you demonstrate, right? The background is not OpenAI, right? It's a completely LLM, right?
No, we are using GPT API.
Okay,
This
GPT.
is our own UI. We have built our own stack, complete stack on AWS.
Got it. Got it. So in that case, have you tried like whatever the commands lines are there, like continue or those commands are applicable for this view also?
No, not everything which ChatGPT supports will be applicable here, right? So
Okay.
no.
And how about the flow chart? If a document is having the flow charts or some maps, images, definitely you are already told, right, that you will be looking at,
No,
right?
it cannot read flowcharts and graphs and
Flow
charts.
charts,
No.
okay.
But that is all. These things are on a roadmap. So this needs some research and development. How to get
Mm-hmm.
things into the embedding, right?
Okay, got it. Yeah, thank you.
So if we see this document, let's say there are, look at these organic chemistry diagrams, right? So, I mean, this will need some work, right? How to read this chemistry diagram, this, molecular diagram or DNA diagram, and how to then interpret it, right? So this will need significant work. So even ChatGPT and all, nobody has done it. So it's still an open, innovation game, right? So we'll have to do substantial work on this, and in terms of imagery, these kind of chemical diagrams, physical diagrams, industrial design. I mean, you name it. The list goes on and on, right? How to do information mining from all kinds of charts, graphs, infographics, tables, industry-centric diagrams. So the potential for innovation is immense, immense. So when we say, well, this is already present in other tools, I mean, if somebody can tell me which tool can mine this document end to end, I'll be happy to try that tool. But I am yet to find that tool. There's no tool in the market today which can successfully mine this document end to end, including the organic chemistry diagrams, the tables correctly. Forget ChatGPT. Across the GenAI industry, nobody can mine this document end to end completely till date. But that creates a window of opportunity for startups like us and some of your startups potentially, right? So this is still an open game, folks. We are just starting in Gen AI. There's a lot of innovation possible, and you can gain market share by doing some of these innovations. So it is definitely not a done deal. Okay, ChatGPT and maybe Bard has done everything. Not at all. No LLM in the world can mine this document correctly till today. So there's a lot of R&D needed how to do this correctly. And this is just one kind of diagram. Think of industrial designs, tables. I'm not even going to audio video format yet, right? So the potential for innovation is, mind boggling actually. Okay. Any further comments before we continue?
Uh, Hey, hi Vivek, Nilesh here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were mentioning no LLMs can do this, but yeah, actually the image part and image processing and everything, they are LVMs, large visual models. So the multi-model technique may actually have a capability to actually go through it. Just requires a fine-tuning and
I mean, Bard does multimodal. I know heard Gemini, the new Gemini model from Google does
yeah,
multimodal.
yes,
Uh,
yes.
but okay, so slowly they are also trying to do solve one by one. But this particular organic chemistry nobody will do, right?
Yeah,
Uh, so there's a
it
lot
is
of potential. Let's say you are into maritime industry, shipping, right? Shipping has very sophisticated diagrams of the ship and its machinery and the protocols. So no LLM in the world can mine it. Yesterday, somebody from shipping industry was asking me,
26 this is.
Mhm.
This is the biggest they had
Right, right.
Okay.
Mhm.
because this one they don't have anyway. Don't make this anymore. It's like 2 years ago I got this. Okay. At your place.
Uh, even the space
Biggest
industries, right? Wherever the spacecraft are also made, so those are also right not identified yet.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much things we have to do as a community, right? The Gen AI community, to actually solve a lot of these industry problems with LLMs, and it's not like ChatGPT and Bard and Gemini and Llama will solve it all. So they need us, the army of startups, to sort of build on top of foundational LLMs and solve for various industry use cases. Okay, so that
So,
let's continue. Yeah, go ahead.
sir, is there any way as we startups, since you have the proper infrastructure, can we be part of research or any kind of case studies that you are working on, or is there any kind of a way that we can participate in making it happen, as you said, the image part of it or whatever it is, which is not yet done by any other Gen AI model? Since you are mentioning it as you have a community of around 16,000 plus scientists.
Yes, yes.
So can we be part of that community wherein at least we can try out or test the models that you have created and share you the feedback that we have received from multiple test prompts that we have given? So that may
Absolutely. So we are everything we do is driven with the help of our massive community. And if you are in Bangalore, we also do sometimes offline meetups. So I'm showing
oh
you some of these photographs, and we are out of WeWork Belendur in the EcoSpace Outer Ring Road zone, and we have been doing these kind of meetups for the last 5 years. So we do weekend webinars now, but basically, we are a community on meetup.com with 16,500 members so far. And we have many, many WhatsApp groups for various products and project activities. So all that you have to do is just reach out to me and we'll find the appropriate group for you to participate in.
okay.
So let me
Vivek,
So
share my number
if you
here
could
in case anybody want to reach out. So I've shared my number. Just note my number and send me a WhatsApp after this call, and then happy to discuss with you an appropriate group where you can contribute or engage in. Any other comments before I continue? Okay, so let's see a few more things on continuing an ImagineView. Okay, So it's a kind of a, we are obviously trying to monetize the platform. So there's a free trial which all of you are welcome to try, and you, for 1 month you get 25. So we have credits in terms of tokens. So token, roughly one token you can assume is around one word, English word. So you get some free tier quota which you can happily try, and then after that you can consider if you want to upgrade to a paid plan, which the annual plans and monthly plans and so forth. But definitely the free trial can be tried. If you run out of your free trial, you can always sign up as a different email for another free trial, so that you can continue to use multiple emails for free trial if that's what you choose to do. And so it will basically count tokens. So we have also have our second tool here, which is a chat GPT style general chat. So we call it a virtual bot, right? We call it a virtual bot. So you can see here that I'm in the virtual bot mode as opposed to the knowledge based miner mode. And here, since I am personally in the starter plan, and I can choose to change the plan if I like. I am currently in starter C. C means cloud LLM, because in future we'll be introducing, Llama to local LLM. So that will be dash L plans, but these are C plans, means it's calling the GPT-4 API for of the LLM analysis, right? So
Vivek, is there, sorry to interrupt,
hmm,
is there any like a limitation of the token? If we are just taking up like the monthly, just say $20 per month. So
hmm.
is there any limitation? Because I just taken up a GPT-4, the OpenAI. So whenever I'm just giving you beyond of the token, number of tokens. So after 24 hours only, I am able to again use the GPT-4. Otherwise, it's switched to 3.5 only.
No, in our case, we only have GPT-4 exclusively. And yes,
Okay.
if you run out of tokens, then you will have to either top up for that month or upgrade to a premium plan.
Okay. To like 50,000 tokens. Okay. That
Correct.
is the limit, right?
I mean,
Okay.
that's
Got it.
approximately the number of words it will process. Now,
Mm.
I would always recommend to do an yearly plan. So in one shot, you get 3 million tokens for 1 year. But it is possible you may consume 3 million tokens in 1 month. So you'll have to again then top up for. But yeah, because otherwise the problem with monthly plan is if you are a heavy duty user, then you run out of tokens and again you have to keep buying top ups. The top ups are slightly more expensive compared to the monthly plans.
Mhm.
So the cheapest option is the yearly plan, but yeah, there's a cumulative pricing. So basically, it's a GPT-4 wrapper. So even for particularly for the virtual assistant bot, you can consider this like a Chat GPT wrapper. So it may be slightly different from Chat GPT, but mostly we are using GPT-4 API. And so this we call this as tool as the virtual assistant bot. Here you can ask anything. So are the best ways to learn AI? So I'm asking a question, what are the best ways to learn AI? I can ask anything. So this is not RAG. This is straight, GPT-4, analysis. So this is more like Chat GPT, if you will. So now GPT-4 is slightly slow. If you all have tried GPT 3.5 and 4, we have found GPT-4 is marginally slower than GPT 3.5. And because of that, we do find that it takes and for long form answers like this one, it takes a little while, it takes about 30-40 seconds. But if it's a very pinpointed small answer, it returns in 10 seconds. So here we are trying to optimize on speed and all that. So that is also innovation, right? Optimizing on the speed of the LLM response is also innovation. So that way we are adding our own set of innovations to the whole paradigm. So you can see how to learn AI. It gave a pretty good answer. These are the ways you can learn AI, right? So can you answer the same question in less than 100 words, right? So based on prompt, then you can it will adjust the answer.
Vivek, in that case, right, optimization of tokens are also one of the use case, because if it occurs the cost also.
That's correct. So, so there's so much sort of engineering innovation required here. for optimizing tokens, because GPT-4 will charge us what it charges, and there's a AWS cost involved. So we have to find ways of lowering the cost for our customer and maximizing usage of the technical bandwidth. So you can see now it answered fairly fast because I only asked for 100 words.
So currently, is there any limitation on number of documents?
There is no theoretical limitation, but I think we have tried 10, 12 documents. It worked fine, but we have again not found the upper limit. Maybe we have to try uploading 50 documents and see if it works. But my suspicion is it will work provided it is able to embed them and in less than 5 minutes, because we do have a 5-minute timeout window on the tool on the UI side.
Okay,
It
so
will work with
basically,
100 documents provided they can be embedded in 5 minutes or less.
yeah, I meant to say, like, did you put any limitation to this particular website?
No, we don't. We haven't put any limitation. No.
Okay. So you can even do the CSV as well, because here you mentioned PPT, CSV, doc, text. Currently, I don't think it will support, right?
No, I just showed you CSV, right? The bond market data is a CSV file.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So this particular CSV file, will you read it as a text or like either database?
See, basically, there's a CSV miner in LangChain. So it parses that as a JSON data set. And I believe, my tech team can answer better, but it basically it mines it using a CSV miner, and ultimately it's just a JSON understanding, and then it is able to embed it. So there is a CSV miner supported, I believe, in LangChain, which
Yeah,
we are
CSV
using.
agent is there. I know that CSV
Correct,
agent you can do. So you can do the analytics part also, right?
correct.
So maybe.
So let's say if I want the total rate of return from all, New York state bonds. So let's see if it is able to do calculation, right? So I want a cumulative rate of return from New York bonds. So it is able to do that. I have noticed it is able to do computation across rows. So what is total rate of investment return from all the bonds in New York? What is total rate of okay, let's try this question. What is the total rate of investment return from all the bonds in New York? So it is able to do computation, but for more sophisticated computation, I believe it will need tree of thought or reasoning or chain of thought kind of engineering, which we are working on. But yes,
See,
simple computations it's
yeah.
able to do.
So basically, what I found the challenging, okay, let me see. Okay, so basically, suppose you have one CSV file. Okay, so the other document is a PDF file. Okay, so both, I don't think CSV you can store into the vector database. Why? Because the way it has to be built is, if you have the code llama, for an example, so it should generate your text to the query, SQL query. So then it can do a very far better than whatever you are doing like vector database, right? So when you convert the query into the SQL and query from the CSV file, and there is a switch happens, right? When the question asks, like the user asking some question, whether it falls under the PDF or whether it falls under CSV or database. So such kind of a thing, how you guys are managing?
No, let's try this. So I'm uploading a PDF file simultaneously with a CSV file. So this PDF file is 120 pages long. So it's a pretty big file. And it's a glossary of municipal securities term, because this is around the municipal bonds market. And so I'm uploading this PDF file along with the CSV file, which I was showing before. So let's upload them together and see if we can answer questions. I don't think it should be a problem. I think we have tried this and it works fine. So I'm not sure what you're talking about, because based on the embedding, it is able to find the matching semantic chunk and then use that
So
context.
I agree with that. That is the problem. Vector store only it will do the similarity. How can it do the analytics?
No, it will not do cross-document, comparison, if that's what you're asking. But let's ask a specific question from this PDF file. So let's say, what is the able program? So I'll just ask a question. What is the able program?
So can you? Oh, okay.
Right. So this is specifically mentioned in this PDF. So it should be able to find this chunk and use that as contextual generation. So it was able to do that, right? So it was pretty much picked it up from
Yeah.
here.
So what if? So my question is like, suppose you have a PDF and CSV file, right? So
Hmm.
what if you have to look into the PDF? Okay, that should be a question to the CSV. If the question was framed like that, right? So then agent framework should come. So that is where I think everywhere, even LangChain, Llama Index, everybody was suffering from that to build a
No, so
good.
you are asking a good question that requires a chain of thought. So we have to combine the results of two documents, right? That's what you are asking.
Yeah,
So
not only the combining the result of the two documents, and to make sure, like, to suppose think CSV file is completely separately stored, not into the vector store. Okay.
hmm,
So when you form a question, suppose you ask the rate of return question you have asked, right?
hmm,
I didn't, which was the, suppose if you ask a question related to the something kind of aggregation, which
hmm,
we do using the SQL, so a
hmm,
little bit deeper into the analytics. So
hmm.
I feel it will badly fail. That is what my this thing. So until unless if it is completely differently, they maintain like only CSV agent. Okay, CSV. If you're interacting with CSV, okay, it will give the proper answer maybe. So
Hmm.
depending on the how you guys build it. So it's just interesting like how you
No,
guys are
so the
using the
cross
CSV.
document requires reasoning and
Mm,
aggregation of the chunking. So let me try this question, what you are asking. What
mm,
are the what are the bonds return? Uh, was the rate of return of bonds? What is the rate of return? What is the rate of return of bonds mentioned in the document? And I'll give the document name also. So I'll try to basically see if I can combine. If I can combine the, I don't think it will
mm.
work because it doesn't have chain of thought implemented yet. So I am doubtful it will work, but let's try anyway. So what is the rate of return of bond mentioned in a document? As per the Excel, as per the CSV file. I don't think this will work at all. So, but anyway, let's
Yeah.
try.
Okay.
So you're trying to combine the intelligence of two or more files, right? So that's what I understood from your question, and we know that that's a problem. We need to work on this. So yeah, I don't think this will work at all because you are right in saying that it will only, yeah, I mean, anyway, it doesn't know the file name, so
Yeah.
that doesn't do it. So file name is not stored, but so we have to find a bond which is common to both, right? So we have to find one bond which is common to both. Is New York mentioned here? Let me see. Is the bonds in New York? No reference to it.
Like, why can't we ask just the same question, like, what is the bond which is commonly mentioned in this
A good
thing?
point. That's a good thinking. Let's try that. What? No, but again, see, it doesn't know two documents. It has created embedding for all, so it doesn't understand what do you mean by two documents.
Then in the case which is theoretically mentioned and in numerical data, whichever we have.
Described well, as well as it has.
Backed by numerical data.
What is the name of the bond? Described well textually. So I know it's a kind of a vague question. So I don't think it will be able to answer it. Lower floater. Okay, let's look if lower floater is indeed mentioned in this. So here I think it may be there. Yeah, it is there. So lower floater is well mentioned here, but it is definitely not there in Excel file. So it will. To understand why this doesn't work, we have to go to the RAG algorithm workflow now.
Basically, it might be considering that whatever the bonds which are, it is not the bond name that it is mentioning. It is the process that follow lower floater method or a particular practice with which, because usually the bonds are mentioned with a technical some kinds of a specific names, which usually be dates or a particular area kind of a thing. But
It is basically finding these chunks, right? So it is directly finding lower floater mentioned.
Yeah, yes, but lower floater is a kind. It's not a name of a bond basically. It
Yes,
is
yes,
yeah.
yes.
So whatever the description of this lower floater is there, I think it is suggesting that section of bonds which applied this description.
I mean, somehow it satisfied this question where numerical information is also available. So that's why it came up with that. Yeah, it was basically saying the type of bond. That's what you are
Yeah.
also referring, I think. Yeah, it was
Yes.
saying
Yes.
a lower floater is where
Yeah.
there is a numerical interpretation as well as textual.
Yeah.
So yeah, got that. So let's
Basically,
see.
it's the prompt that we need to design in a much better way to get whatever the limitations that we are speaking about the models.
Maybe there is a prompt which will do the magic, which will take some context from here and apply to Excel file or vice versa. So we have to come up with something common and find a prompt which will combine the results of these two, right? So multi-family housing revenue bonds and housing. The housing is mentioned here. Good. So housing is one category of bonds, right? So it is mentioned in Excel file and it is also mentioned here. So I'm going to ask it, what is a multi-housing bond and what are its rate of return? How about that? So what is a multi-housing bond? This is mentioned in PDF file. What are the rate of returns from such bonds as per market data? So I'm trying to ask a question where it has to inspect both the documents, because this answer is not available in either of the documents in a combined manner. Okay, so it picked up the multi-housing bond from PDF file, but it could not then, uh, then assign it to the Excel file. What are cumulative rate of return of housing bonds? So this should come exclusively from the housing file, from the Excel file, I guess. Okay, it is going back to PDF actually. It is going back to PDF again and again. So
I think I understood the point. Like this is what we even exactly faced. This routing, right? So when you ask the question whether it will fall under the PDF or Excel, so that will be decided based on the question, right? I think I just wanted to understand if it is possible. I am not asking it's mandatory. So can you show the RAG architecture? Like, so are you chunking the CSV file also, like only the PDF?
no, we are chunking everything, right? So the entire thing is in
Basically,
VV8 vector database.
yeah, but basically we should not chunk. Has to be maintained separately, which has to be. If you chunk it, how can do the analytics? It can't do ideally.
See, I mean, I don't see technically. I'm not the developer. I have a team working on it, right? So
Okay, sorry for that.
no, that's okay. My belief is that we are doing RAG, and for CSV, we are doing CSV Miner. So that also starts participating in RAG. So this is the overall RAG pipeline, right? So you document, and then you create vector embeddings, and then you do semantic search, and then using the found chunks, it sends the chunks found chunks as context to the GPT API, which is then generates the response, right?
Yeah, correct.
So this is a classic RAG pipeline. Now I don't know if CSV also goes through exactly same process or slightly different. That I don't know.
Okay.
See, because the thing is, CSV is straight away tabular data, right? Structured data. So I am suspecting that in LangChain, CSV miner is able to work with structured tabular data as it is. Where it doesn't need technically a sort of a semantic search, if you will. So it does more of a
Yeah.
analytical
So
search on CSV embedding.
yeah, you're right. The thing is, so in the LangChain, CSV agent, DB agent, so they separately were there. Okay.
Correct. Correct.
So when we are using it, we use the QA retriever for this particular PDF. But
Mhm.
when it comes to the CSV, right, the CSV agent is separate. That will run completely separately. Okay.
Mhm.
So problem where it fails, this agent infrastructure where when you ask the question whether it should fall under the PDF or whether it should go to the CSV, right, that
Mhm.
routing, it is dangerously failing most of the times. So I think that is what even you are facing here, because the question is not going to the CSV, it is going to the PDF.
Right.
So that we have to implement manually, or we have to depend on the again GPT or any LLM. We have to depend on it. Yeah.
I think the routing innovation is quite interesting. So what you keep using the word routing. So that makes sense to me that it has to route the prompt to the right set of embeddings, right? So that routing needs some innovation, right? So
Yeah, see, there is already there routing. It has been since 1 year. LangChain they're implementing. Even I, I implemented one of the way which will work very easily and very efficiently. So
Mhm.
one thing is you make the CSV, right. You create the take out the few of the words from the CSV,
Mhm.
make embeddings separately, and take the PDF, make embeddings separately. Make sure the question where it will fall doing similarity search between both of them. That is the very very basic thing. This
Right, right. Okay, I mean, yeah,
implemented the
we
LLM
can
chat.
discuss
Yeah,
offline if you have some perspective on it, that how
fine,
we
fine.
can do better routing architecture. So uh, uh, basically, in terms of the entire architecture, which somebody is asking, so essentially what is happening is that we have a UI stack. So the full, if you want to know the full stack, so we have a React JS based full stack, right? And then it talks to bunch of APIs on our AWS cloud, right? So we have a AWS cloud setup where we have some AWS credits as part of a startup program. And so we are publishing various services as APIs, right? So this is a pretty normal client server architecture most companies use nowadays. And it has been there for the last 20 years, frankly. Even 20 years back, we were doing socket based APIs, right? Or web services, SOAP services, right? And now we have API or REST APIs in a JSON APIs, if you will. And then so we publish bunch of APIs and UI invokes the APIs and get the relevant service. In AWS, we have bunch of Lambda functions which serve the Lambda is an coding orchestration layer, right? We do use CDK. If you are an AWS developer, you may know Cloud Development Kit for programmatic DevOps, right? And we do use CDK. So we have a bunch of Lambda functions serving the APIs. We wherever there's a compute needed, we have Elastic Compute 2 instance being invoked, and then we have S3 storage for various documents. So the traditional AWS stack, and nothing. And we have Cognito for user authentication, right? So Cognito is AWS authentication service for user IDs. And all of these capabilities are provided through an API which the UI invokes. So this is the overall architecture. And we don't use SageMaker because SageMaker we consider as competition. But sometimes we use SageMaker, but not for our ImagineView stack. So SageMaker is its own MLOps system. So we have kind of set up our own MLOps environment in our AWS, right? And we have a bunch of AWS, experts or even certified architects who help us with our whole stack on the back end. So there's a lot of AWS work I have noticed. There's a lot of UI work. So AI is only small part of the overall, work profile. We have to do a lot of AWS setup work, a lot of React JS development work, and then AI is of course the core functionality of it. But you still need UI developers and AWS developers to set up the whole thing. Just if you are an AI developer, then you cannot launch a full stack product or startup because you still need the UI developer and the AWS expert to set it up for you.
Pedro, anytime.
Sorry, what was that?
AWS Bedrock. Whatever you are doing, right, it is freely available directly from the AWS Bedrock.
So Bedrock is a marketplace. By the way, tomorrow we have an excellent webinar on Bedrock, so don't miss it. It's at 12 p.m. IST tomorrow, Sunday, and by one of our AI researchers from IIT Kharagpur. So don't miss tomorrow's webinar. First time so Bedrock also we are going to use for our Llama orchestration, because it is easy for us to orchestrate Llama, the open source private LLM model from Bedrock, rather than setting it up on our own. So Bedrock is a sort of a orchestration, a marketplace orchestration of various AI models, including Anthropic, Claude, or it doesn't support GPT, I believe, but it supports all other open source models. So you
No,
by
it
all
is directly, it is like if you use the Q, Amazon Q and Bedrock, right, it is completely as what you are building. So it is a mix of like you can directly upload the document and you can chart even the CSV file, even you can interact with database. So anything. So that is what the concept of Bedrock and Q. So what they're coming up with.
So yeah, so we will use Bedrock as and when needed. So it will be a mix of our own stack, plus we will use AWS services provided they are efficient on cost side, right? Because the problem with AWS is the moment the work depends on their services, they start charging you a lot. Like today, if you try to use SageMaker, right, for AI ML ops, SageMaker is very expensive now, if you notice. So we started using SageMaker for a bunch of services over the years, but then we found the cost is prohibitive. So what these companies do, these cloud companies, the moment they find product market fit, a lot of people using their particular service, then they start increasing the price, and you'll end up paying through the nose. So Bedrock is cheap today, from what I understand. In fact, we may also use it for our Llama 2, version of KB Miner. But my fear is that if Bedrock becomes too popular, AWS will start charging you through the nose, and then it will hurt us. We can't afford that pricing, right? SageMaker is already unaffordable. So we had to shut down bunch of our SageMaker notebooks because they were running up our credits very fast. So this is a problem with relying on some of these fiat cloud systems. So you have to be careful, and you have to assume that you'll pay quite a lot for their services. Okay, so any other questions? Let's see what else in here. So yeah.
One small question. I'm not a techie, so it may be not relevant also, but as a end user kind of a thing, what is the difference so far? You might have discussed technically, but I don't see much of a difference between ChatGPT 4, that custom GPTs that we have generated by ourselves, and the use cases that you have shown. So is there any specific thing that we are missing out kind of?
See, that's a great point, being a business side person, perhaps. So see, here is my view of the innovation in a startup, right? See,
Yeah.
we are a very small startup. We don't have the 700 strong team of OpenAI. We don't have those Stanford, researchers and PhDs who are at the cutting edge of the latest in AI. So we have what we have, right? So I mean, that's how every startup starts, right? So they suddenly don't get 100 million funding to hire all those MIT PhDs to do moonshot research. So we have to try our own moonshot in our own way. So we believe in baby step innovation. So in fact, in this call itself, you all have suggested to me some baby steps, right? You have said, well, you can look at routing, like the gentleman before was saying, you can look at routing innovation, how to route, because that is an unsolved problem, right, to specific embeddings, or how to do context length, right? How to do cross document mining, which is still unsolved, right? And some of you said that it has not been solved by your company as well. So we believe in baby step innovation, and hopefully we'll have a compelling product which will please our customer. And we don't have to become number one, but even if we do, we have good number of customers who are doing finding a product useful, we are good to go. So hopefully we'll raise some funding where we can hire some of these PhDs, but right now we are not there yet.
No, I am just curious about to know what is that single point which you are may not be number one in the complete thing, but if it is just because of just in that organic chemistry kind of a thing, or is there any specific such thing? Because if whatever the researchers and 700 employees, these people are not enough for building API, ChatGPT. That's why they have kept it open for this long, free custom GPTs. And all these custom GPTs are now ready with ChatGPT, and now they are the plan is in that way, right? They
See,
have
what
these custom GPTs.
we have done so
They
far
are
is
building a marketplace.
we have created a basic RAG system and a basic GPT wrapper chatbot, which is virtual assistant bot. From here on, we are going to increase our research efforts to add value on top of foundational LLM. So indeed, we cannot build a foundational LLM like GPT or Llama because that takes a lot of funds, which we don't have. But we are building a business application layer, and we are talking to a lot of customer leads across the world, right? And we are understanding. See, for customer don't care. Customer don't, and most customers in the world still don't know that ChatGPT is the #1 chatbot, by the way. So
True.
very small minuscule of the world audience has even discovered ChatGPT. And when I talk to business customers, CEOs, they don't know what is GenAI. They never heard of OpenAI. So many, most of the global CEOs have no clue what is GenAI, what is ChatGPT, what is OpenAI. They
They
never heard
don't
of
even
it.
care about. As long
Yes,
as it
yes.
solves their problem
There you go.
and gives a solution,
There you
it
go.
doesn't matter what is that they are using. They don't
Tech
mind.
is commodity, right? Tech is commodity.
That's what I'm asking. What is there any specific such use case or a thing that you are
So,
making your baby steps towards?
see, we are doing customer surveys, right? So we are trying to find those differentiated use cases, right?
Great.
So we are doing technological research on the back end with our tech community here and seeing how to do better prompt engineering or document mining. And on the business side, we are engaged with talking to customers across the world and understanding their problem statement, advising them on GenAI use cases, and then suggesting okay, we can use GenAI in this and this way for helping your business grow. So there is plenty of greenfield opportunity. And I'll give you an example. When Apple owns the mobile app store, right? iOS app store is probably most successful app store, even more than Android app store. But how many startups created $1 billion companies on top of Apple app store, right? So Apple cannot do everything alone. There is a Spotify, there's a Dropbox, there's there's a Zillow. So there are a lot of use cases which were built on the core internet stack or the core mobile app store stack. So
Yes,
we
yes.
believe that there's a lot of white space which the big guys will leave out, which somebody like us can hope to capture.
You don't need to think like you are a small guy. You made the baby step in the front runner. You are the big guy among those babies. Okay.
Okay.
So I appreciate and congratulate for that.
No,
But
thank you.
yeah. So it's just that if maybe because it is a business point of view that I'm asking, because you are using ChatGPT as the base version for whatever this thing is making. When ChatGPT starts charging for the tokens, and if you are using the same method, how could you control the token which is much lesser price than the ChatGPT when your system is using the same tokens?
So we are upcharging it actually. So our charges include a profit margin, right?
Yeah.
So
Yes. That
so,
is why I have asked. What is that additional thing that you are working upon? Maybe that's where your research is on right now.
that is where the R&D is, right? So
Yes.
that we have made. So this is our sort of a long-term product roadmap view, and you can see each of these boxes has plethora of things to solve for. You know, I mean, I can spend a lifetime and not done with this diagram, right? So there's a lot of things to be solved for. So these guys are providing us GPT and Llama and all this, but on top of that, we have to solve for so many things. And on this call itself, we have discussed a couple of problem statements, right? So it's okay. You know, we'll discover our niche. Today, I cannot give you a clear answer what is our niche, but we just launched this over last 4-5 months. Now we are doing customer surveys. We have many focus groups in our community. In fact, at 12 p.m. today, we have a strategic research group starting. So some of our community people are participating in a strategic discussion where we are discussing what should be a medium or long-term moonshot roadmap, right? So the potential of innovating is so immense. And see, it's about if the market size can support a lot of ships, many ships can sail. and we hope to be
yes.
one of that ship. So we don't have a clear differentiation today, but we found that ChatGPT was not doing information mining of documents. We added that. Now, granted, even ChatGPT, I think the enterprise version supports that now. There are many other startups doing the same thing. So we are adding our own spice to the whole mix, basically.
Yes, yes, I understand, and I see a lot of gap which can be filled, and
Yeah.
also lot
Yeah.
of enthusiasts at individual levels
Hmm.
trying out the same thing individually.
Yes,
So
yes.
since you have made this platform enough, and as you said, if you could share us in a way wherein we can contribute to this, because you can channelize, because as you said in your roadmap, even if you spend your lifetime, you cannot even make one part of it.
Yes,
So
yes.
if we can channelize this enthusiasts into, that's what you were saying, like in WhatsApp groups, you have various things kind of a thing.
Mhm. Mhm.
So if you could make it
We have a community. So I suggest you reach out to me through WhatsApp after this call and
definitely,
happy to
that's
discuss
what I was thinking. Yes,
specialized expertise each individual has and then provide them the right community platform to engage and contribute in.
sure. Thank you so much.
So we have a product internship program. We have a new strategic research group which is starting now. We have our first call at 12 p.m. today on slightly more moonshot product vision. And then we have an advanced product development group which makes our ImagineView product. We have the global AI lab community which is our overall mothership group. So we have many such kind of WhatsApp groups where different goals are being discussed. So all of you are welcome to talk to me offline and discuss your relevant expertise and interest. And then I'll be able to recommend whether you should join the overall mothership group, which is the AI lab group, or should you join our product development group or our strategic research group and so on. So if you are merely learning MLDL, we have a learning group as well. So we have some courses on Google Classroom, which we can provide for Jumpstart capability. In fact, we have an excellent AI platform, which is useful for learners as well, which is called CellStrat Hub. And many of you might have tried it. So we have a low code, no code Jumpstart AI marketplace here, which you can see. So in this space, we compete with Hugging Face, but we have thousands of our community members using our platform for jumpstart learning and development of AI. So here there are a bunch of bundled projects which you get ready-made Jupyter notebooks for different domains. And we also have an API marketplace. So I suggest you reach out and we can provide you the appropriate platform based on your expertise and interest. And this is our upcoming GenAI platform. We have a very, very expert level GenAI development team which is working on this product. And they also have good UI experts and AWS experts because it takes a whole stack. So we definitely want to be a major GenAI player. And I have been traveling to Bay Area because my company is a US company. Last year, twice I went, and I'm actually 10 days from now, I'm taking a flight to San Francisco again. So I'll be there for a week to just network with the community there and potentially talk to some of the investors and angel investors and also popularize my product. In September, I was in Bay Area. I had exhibition booths demonstrating my Imagine GPT product in two major conferences in Santa Clara. And I generated a lot of leads from those exhibition booths, such as AMD and Philips Healthcare, and in many hardware companies as well for edge AI, compute. So we are now talking to those leads and trying to close business with them.
That's that's great to hear, sir. All the very best, and may we see you as a Play Store
Thank you. I appreciate that.
compared to the Apple you said at ChatGPT right now. But we should be seeing more opportunity as a Play Store.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So hope to be a major player with all of your help, and I do suggest all of you sign up for the newsletter. So we have our newsletter reaches almost 30,000 people today, so you can also sign up so you hear about our upcoming product updates and other activities. Uh, and we have a very active research blog where we have published more than 400 AI research blogs, and we have a YouTube channel where we have almost 500 of these webinars recorded on our YouTube channel. So we have massive content portfolio, and our AI lab community is well aware of it because I keep sharing the links in the AI lab group. So I would definitely encourage all of you to join our AI lab group if you're not already there. So you can also see our YouTube channel, and you'll find that there are more than 400 AI webinars recorded, like the one I'm presenting. But today is more of a product demo, but we have a lot of functional webinars. Like tomorrow, we have two excellent webinars. One is on fine-tuning LLMs with the PEFT or parameter efficient fine-tuning, and then the second webinar is on AWS Bedrock tomorrow. And you can also subscribe to a free subscription to ImagineView and just play with the product and see if it is of use to you for your content, and do sign up for a newsletter as well. So I'm nearing the end of my presentation. It was meant to be an introduction to our ImagineView platform, and I hope I answered your question, but open to any final questions now.
Hi, Vivek. Ekta here.
Hi, Ekta.
Lots of congratulations on ImagineView launch, first of all,
Thank you.
and it's a great product.
Thank
And
you.
also on your website, what I see is what you have mentioned is it is for the workflow automation, right?
No, it's for so far it is for information mining, if you will. So you can upload PDFs, PPTs, CSV, doc, TXT, even websites, and
Understood.
to them for data insights or critical insight development.
Right, because as a business user, it is always it should fit somewhere in the workflow automation. And me having worked a lot in workflow automation, almost more than 15 years.
Mhm.
So, where do you see? How do you see it fitting into that?
See, basically, the whole world is going through a Gen AI revolution. So today, what is happening, Ekta, is, and I talk to so many business customers across the world, including India as well. So we are always discussing how to use Gen AI for various kinds of workflows and use cases.
Exactly.
So if we can discuss offline, if I can understand your data set, let's say you are sitting on a lot of PDF files. So how Gen AI can optimize insight development from those files. If you have a lot of CSV or Excel files, so we can use LLMs for data mining those Excel files. So even companies like Tableau and Power AI, BI, which are in the business of traditional analytics, they are now introducing Gen AI capabilities natively into their tools. So one of our partners is the engineering director of the Tableau development team in Salesforce.com, because Tableau is now owned by Salesforce. So we have a lot of such network with whom we are discussing various use cases and workflows. So the whole workflow is up for disruption. Whatever workflow you do today, whatever.
Correct.
Bunch of Gen AI interception coming. It is just a matter of whether you do it first or your competition does it first. So because Gen AI is powerful, it opens up new possibility of optimization and productivity automation, right? So that's why our tagline is Gen AI platform for driving business productivity and automation. That is our precise tagline, and this is my investor deck, in fact. And so we can help improve business productivity and automation, which includes workflow automation.
Sure. Okay, I'll ping you offline, and
Sure.
I think we can have a one-on-one discussion on this.
Sure.
Thank you.
So here I'm showing some of the use cases. Let's say you are sitting on product manuals or websites, you have sales and marketing literature, you have various kinds of knowledge corpus. So we can apply Gen AI for very, very powerful insight development capability, right? So this is our roadmap, which I showed already. So this is actually my investor deck. And in fact, I'm showing you now some of my customer names as well. So we developed ImagineView because I was already doing custom consulting projects for some global clients, which are mentioned here. And based on understanding their problem statement, we said, what if we create a common platform so that we don't have to do a custom project per client? And now we are creating a common platform to serve the small and medium enterprises with similar capability, because everybody has CSV files, everybody has PDF, everybody has websites. So getting insights from that literature has not been so easy so far. And that's the problem we are solving.
Sure. Thanks.
Okay, so I think I'm coming up to the end of this presentation. Any final comments? Okay, thank you for joining.